You know, we often think of network security as this invisible wall. It's just there. But when you actually peel back the layers, it's less like a static wall and more like a living, breathing organism that needs constant attention.
Absolutely. It's a nervous system. And if you're the one responsible for that nervous system, you can't just be a spectator. You have to be a surgeon.
That's a terrifying image, but accurate. And that brings us to what we're tearing into today, the Fortinet NSE 4 certification. Specifically, the FortiOS 7.6 administrator exam. This isn't just another badge for your LinkedIn profile, is it?
Not at all. This is the bread and butter for network security professionals. If you are managing enterprise firewalls, specifically FortiGate devices, this exam is the litmus test. It proves you don't just know the theory, you can actually drive the car. Or, in this case, pilot the tank.
Right. And looking at the specs here, it's a tight squeeze. You've got 90 minutes to answer about 50 to 55 questions. That doesn't sound like a lot of time to second-guess yourself.
It's not, and that's by design. The exam covers FortiOS 7.6, which is the latest iteration. They aren't asking you to recite definitions. They're throwing you into scenarios. Troubleshooting connectivity, interpreting configuration extracts, setting up HA clusters. It's testing your muscle memory as much as your brain.
So, let's break down the actual battlefield. What are the big pillars here? I see deployment is huge.
Deployment is the foundation. You have to know how to configure the security fabric, which is Fortinet's way of making all the devices talk to each other to enhance visibility. But it also covers things like HA clusters.
HA clusters?
High availability. Basically, if one firewall dies, does the other one pick up the slack instantly without dropping the Zoom call? If you can't configure that, you're in trouble. But beyond deployment, the real meat is in the policies.
The who gets in and who stays out rules.
Exactly. Firewall policies, SNAT, DNAT. But it's deeper now. It's not just blocking ports. It's about content inspection. We're talking about inspecting encrypted traffic.
That's a big one. Because most traffic is encrypted now, right? If you aren't inspecting SSL, you're basically a security guard wearing a blindfold.
Precisely. You need to know how to use certificates to unlock that traffic, check for malware using antivirus modes, and use IPS, intrusion prevention systems, to stop known vulnerabilities. It's a lot of moving parts.
And I see they've included SD-WAN and VPNs in the mix too.
You can't ignore those. SD-WAN is huge for optimizing traffic across different links, and VPNs are non-negotiable for remote access. The exam expects you to know how to set up SSL VPNs and IPsec tunnels. Again, it's about practical application.
Okay, so the scope is massive. How does someone actually prepare for this without losing their mind? I mean, standard experience requirements are like, 6 months of hands-on time?
Minimum 6 months with FortiGate, yes, plus a year or two of general networking. But even then, the exam logic can be tricky. This is where the study material makes or breaks you.
I've seen people mention dumps online. It always sounds a bit shady.
It can be. There's a lot of free stuff floating around that's outdated or just flat out wrong. If you study a wrong answer, you're sabotaging yourself. That's why resources like Spoto are mentioned so often in this space.
What makes them different?
It's about validity. Spoto's question bank is supposedly aligned directly with the official objectives and verified by experts. But the real kicker is the simulation. They offer access to a remote server.
So you're not just reading a PDF, you're actually in the environment?
Exactly. It simulates the test day. Reading about a firewall policy is one thing. Configuring it under a timer is another. It builds that confidence so you aren't panicking when the clock starts ticking.
That makes sense. It's the difference between reading a book on karate and actually sparring. So let's say our listener crushes this exam. They pass the NSE 4. Are they done?
Not quite. And this is interesting. Passing the NSE 4 is the core requirement for the Fortinet Certified Professional, Security Operations Credential. But to actually get the certification, you need an elective.
An elective? Like in college?
Similar concept. You have to pass one of the NSE 5 exams within 2 years. Usually, that's either the FortiAnalyzer Analyst or the FortiSandbox Administrator.
I like that structure. It's saying, Okay, you know how to build the wall, NSE 4. Now prove you know how to analyze the data coming through it, NSE 5.
It forces you to be a well-rounded engineer. You can't just be a config monkey. You have to be an analyst.
That's a shift we're seeing everywhere, isn't it? The tools are getting smarter, so the humans operating them need to be more strategic.
That's the crux of it. Automation and AI are handling the easy stuff. The administrator's job is now about architecture, complex troubleshooting, and understanding the nuance of a threat. This exam is the gateway to that level of responsibility.
It really puts into perspective why these certifications are so rigorous. We aren't just protecting data anymore. We're protecting infrastructure, hospitals, power grids.
The stakes have never been higher. And frankly, if you're going to be the one standing between the network and the chaos outside, you better know exactly what every button on that dashboard does.
Well said. Whether you're just starting your study journey or you're about to book your exam date, remember, it's about competence, not just the certificate. Thanks for breaking this down with me today.
My pleasure. Good luck to everyone taking the test. Stay secure out there.